And as I had mentioned earlier this evening here, I learned a lot of stuff here. Only knew one of the inductees here, so I had to do quite a bit of research. But our final inductee, I actually had the privilege of working with him once about 10 years ago with the Northwest Sprint Challenge Series. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us this evening here because of his health, but this is being recorded, and hopefully he'll be able to watch it soon at his home in Mount Vernon. This gentleman began his racing career racing stock cars at the Port Angeles Dirt Track in 1969, but his path in racing turned another direction towards open wheel when he went to a sprint car race at the old Spanaway Speedway that year with his friend Neil Hunka. He immediately got hooked and soon bought a sprint car of his own. As importantly, that same night, he met the love of his life, Jan, who remains his wife to this day. Racing sprint cars now, he races the dirt tracks around western Washington, including Skagit, the old Sky Valley Speedway in Monroe, and the old Elma half mile during the 1970s, and occasionally racing on asphalt here and there at the time as well. Never being a points racer, his titles and championships were not plentiful, but he won several main events, including winning the 1973 Washington Dirt Track Series between Elma, Skagit, and Sky Valley, and he also won a Northwest Dirt Cup Series main event at Sky Valley Speedway. He was also known for clean cars. He won Best Appearing Car at the Clark Marshall Car Show in Seattle back in 1972 as well. He bought his first Ram sprint car in 1974 and went racing down in California and Arizona that year. He returned to the Northwest scene, and knowing that Sky Valley Speedway was about to shut, set out to win the final track championship in 1977, and he succeeded. The next year, he ventured out to Montana and won the Dirt Cup style Montana Sprint Car Championship in 1978, a three-track, three-race points series between Great Falls, Helena, and the old Missoula Speedway, and he won that as well. Having traveled more than most Northwest racers at the time, he earned the nickname The Drifter. He entered a brief retirement, but came back out for a couple of years, driving for Warren and Jim Marshall from 1982 to 1984, before retiring from driving for good one last time. He also stepped in to help run some races. In 1984, the late Jim Raper, on his deathbed, asked this gentleman to help run the Dirt Cup at Skagit, ran it for 2 years, and a little over 20 years later, he stepped up to the plate to help run Grace Harbor Raceway after the untimely passing of Fred Brownfield. Going back to the 80s, while he was no longer racing, he later began the second leg of his racing career as a car owner. He and Jan's daughter, Shauna, was growing up and wanted to get behind the wheel of a race car herself. They went mini sprint racing in 1988, and in 1989 won a track championship at Deming Speedway before Shauna moved up into full-size sprint cars in 1990, driving the number 56 JR, a nod to her father's number 56W that he used for many years. Again, they often did not chase points and traveled whenever they could, winning races around Washington, Oregon, and out in Montana as well. They stunned everyone in 1995 when Shauna beat California's best 410 sprint car racers at a NARC Golden State Challenge race at Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico. When late promoter Fred Brownfield, who Shauna's father had raced with before, started the Northern Sprint Tour for 360 sprint cars in 1996, they set out to win the inaugural series championship and won it on a tiebreaker. Shauna eventually ventured out on her own, racing for others, but her dad's days as a car owner weren't quite over yet, as he had other drivers, including former crewman Ronnie Cox, Randy Ridge, and Tom Wagner, among others, all pilot cars for him. The Drifter once posted on the internet that watching Tom Wagner, nicknamed the Iceman, drive his race cars sometimes made his hair turn a little grayer on some evenings. He decided to finally chase points at Skagit Speedway, winning the 1999 410 championship with Randy Ridge behind the wheel, and in 2000, they set out to win both championships, 410 and 360 at Skagit, and Randy Ridge won both. After that, he decided it was time to close shop and retired as a car owner. He had an influence on many people, including his daughter Shauna and the drivers who raced for him. One driver approached him back in the 1970s at Monroe one afternoon, and that man became a good friend and a protege to him, crewing for him, and also being an apprentice of sorts in the business world. And that young man's name was Fred Brownfield. And you all know Fred Brownfield went on to be a major player in the Northwest and national sprint car scene, but this gentleman had a profound influence on Fred Brownfield. After Fred's untimely passing in 2006, he stepped up to help manage Grays Harbor Raceway for the remainder of that season. With the North Sprinter also folding as a result, he and Shauna, both well respected by the Northwest racing community, teamed up to run the new Northwest Sprint Challenge Series in 2007. There were a few headaches, as to be expected with AMU deal, but that one-year run for the series was a success, as over 19 completed events at 6 different Northwest tracks. Their average car count was 42. This earned him, Jan, and Shauna the 2007 Promoter of the Year Award for 360 sprint cars by the North American Sprint Car Poll, awarded by the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. He remained a constant presence at the races, even as his health began to fail in recent years. His health is failing him these days, but as he said when I was talking with him a few weeks ago, it is what it is. He's had a rich, full life. He's had an amazing wife and family, amazing friends, and an amazing career. And everyone who knew and worked with him will all remember him for being just a very nice man. And to him and his family, so many racers, crewmen, and fans owe so very much. At this time, please join me in welcoming to the Elma Auto Racing Hall of Fame as a 2017 inductee, the drifter, Dick Wilskey. And at this time, I'd like to welcome another gentleman who worked with Dick in the NSCS in 2007, Rick Terry, to accept the honor.
Thanks, John. I'm a good personal close friend of Dick's, and he asked me to come up tonight and accept the award for him. I don't know whether you all know it or not, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I personally called Rick Lady and asked him if he would bring Dick's coat. And we had a little short ceremony up in Mount Vernon, because Dick is, I don't know how to say this, but I guess Dick is on his final journey, and we wanted to get her done because we just don't know how much time we have. So I want to thank Rick and the entire community and everybody at the Elma Hall of Fame for bending over backwards and making that happen for him, because that was pretty damn important. I got a little short note here, a few thoughts that he wanted me to pass on to everybody. Dick's pretty short and sweet and direct to the point, so this won't last too long. Hopefully it's not boring. He says, growing up, I had always been fans of cars and racing, and used to ride a bicycle to Aurora Speedway in the 50s to watch the races. He says his dad would pick him up afterwards in his 37 Roadmaster. In 1954, he gave me that car, carved out a track in our backyard. After my paper route, just about every day I would go around in circles in that damn car. Said it was bigger than the house, with spares on the fenders and bases in the back seat, and it was a beast. So my fascination with turning left was ingrained early in my life. In 1969, you met the aforementioned Anderson, Neil Honka, who I worked with in the 50s, to see if he was still racing. And he said he was going to Spanaway Speedway on a Friday, so I decided to go and watch. I didn't get there until the main was almost finished. However, I did get to see that orange 76 car coming out of turn 4 with the left front hiked up in the air and the headers glowing red and roaring, and boy, I've had one of those. That was my first introduction to the world sprint cars, and I've been in love with them ever since. Later that evening, I was introduced to the love of my life, Jan, and to this day, she is the foundation of my existence. Ever since that night, I have had 47 years of the most amazing marriage and 47 years of friendship with the most wonderful people called this racing family. It's made up of great competitors, sportsmen, promoters, officials, and most of all, the fans. I've been very fortunate, and I said, I have been fortunate enough to have a wonderful wife and daughter that have shared and supported my passion, and an extended family of some of the best driver sponsors, and most of all, fantastic group of friends that have kept my car running and looking great and going fast. Well, I'm very honored to have my name placed alongside the greats of our sport from this area. It should be the names of all those drivers and friends that put the endless hours of work that have made me look good. So this award is very, very special to me. And all I can say is thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Also got a letter here from another longtime Northwest racing announcer. We'll go ahead and read this. He's not here with us this evening, but he emailed this to us here and asked us to read this aloud. Dear friends, sorry I couldn't be with all of you tonight, but I had to say my congratulations to Dick Wilskey on his induction into the Elma Auto Racing Hall of Fame. Whether as a driver or an owner, his cars always looked good, always were fast, and often ended up in the winner's circle. As a driver, he was just as good on the pavement at Victoria or Spanaway as he was on the dirt at Scatter or. But Dick Wilskey was much more than that. He took pride in his race teams with a clean and neat operation and was so well spoken during interviews. And he was so friendly to me and my brother when, as youngsters back in the 1970s, we would come down to the pits after races for an autograph. My dad was very fond of Dick too. He always said if you want one driver for a TV or radio interview to represent our sport in the best possible way, it was Dick Wilskey. And then in 2007, I had the pleasure of working with Dick with the Northwest Sprint Challenge Series. Once again, he was a true professional, first class all the way. I will always cherish the memories of listening to your racing stories as we travel to the next race. Jan and Shauna, you should be so proud of them. I know that you are. Congratulations again, Dick, your friend, Fred Renner Jr.